Hey, it is Justin, the Renegade Realtor from South Pasadena. And I wanted to talk to you about investing in real estate today. Are you looking for a deal? Looking for an investment property? Well, you've come to the wrong place because I've got no good news for you. Actually, that's not entirely true. I don't have any good news for you about Southern California. I think now is the worst possible time to buy. And I think even when prices come down, which I think they inevitably will, you're not gonna, the competition will just come back. The people who are really good at this stuff will come back into the market, and competition will stay kind of fierce. I think that will, even though I believe prices in Southern Cal will come down by quite a bit, some of these people will, maintain. There will be some health in the market just based on there's always people with tons of cash are trying to invest and always looking for a deal. So I think that's gonna keep the market in Southern California from going down by half. it'll only be 25%, because it'll bounce back from deal seekers. So I don't think that if you're a small time investor and you're not super experienced at it, I would stay out of Southern Cal as for investment opportunities, because I think it'll just break your heart. I'm doing this video because I have clients who they come to me and they're looking for a play. Oh, can you call a realtor about this and get some more information? And yeah, it's this property and it's in the Antelope Valley, so it's kind of far, and the comps are not very valuable. And then it's they run the numbers on what a rehab would cost and what they find out what they can get for rent and all this stuff, and it just doesn't make sense. So most of the time with these situations, they lose interest. And what I want to tell them is that I believe if you really want to make a lot of money in real estate by investing in property, I think you have to go way outside, way off the grid, into the middle of nowhere. And most people don't have the wherewithal to do that. And I think the big slick investors who are pros at this, they don't want to do that either. They don't want to move to the middle of nowhere to develop this property. So they're not out there. But that's the beauty of it, and that's why the deals are there. I mean, what if you bought you could buy a whole town in the middle of nowhere, hundreds of miles away from LA, and New Mexico, and start an artist colony, and then market it, and all these people will move out to the artist colony, and you will, you'll end up rich. There are towns in the middle of nowhere that are so desperate, and they need money, and they need inspiration, they need ideas, they need you to come out with your brilliance and your money and your work ethic. And I think if you can do that, I think you could have an incredible, if you got some money and you've got some flexibility, and now obviously you got little young kids. Well, yeah, you're going to be staying where you are. But maybe when they get a little older, maybe you don't have kids, and maybe you're able to go into the middle, and I believe that's how you make money. The other thing is places like Rust Belt. It's like, I'm not high crime, and the weather's brutal. It's like, well, you can buy a 100,000 square foot building in the Rust Belt for cheap, and you can rehab it, and it'll be a hell of an effort, but you can turn it into art, to some kind of low-income housing, or some kind of artist colony studio, or some kind of a band rehearsal space. I mean, there's so many things that I think are not being done by investors. But the problem with places like Southern California is everybody in Southern California thinks they're going to be an investor in real estate, and they're going to look right next door, or they're going to look in their neighborhood. And so Southern California is probably the worst place you can. I mean, so many of the big investors moved out of here, out of LA years ago, because it just got too intense. And I think the San Gabriel Valley is the worst of the worst. It's just like everyone's in there trying to be a realtor and investor, and it's just played out. Everything's under Section 10 scrutiny. That the idea that you're going to find a deal. I don't know how. but the funny thing is there are tons of deals. They're just hundreds of miles from here in places that you don't probably want to go. And it's a shame because some of these areas are extraordinary. And if you have the creativity and the love and the passion and the money and the work ethic, you can make something fabulous. You know, you buy a ranch and turn it into this incredible vacation spot. I mean, you think about it. You see somebody sends you pictures of where they're vacationing, and it's just, there's a little stream there, and there's some trees, and it's green. And you're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Well, it's like most of the country is like that. You know, there's tons and tons of real estate all across this nation. I drive across the country a lot, and I see the most beautiful places that are undervalued. Nobody's ever heard of. Nobody ever will hear of them until you go there. And you know, it's pioneering. I mean, it's, you know, I've done urban pioneering myself, and it was scary and tough, and sometimes it felt like it was hopeless. But in the end, it ended up being reasonably lucrative. Didn't get rich, but it was lucrative. It was exciting. I learned a lot, and it made me want to do more. And I think pioneering, you know, it's not urban pioneering now. Now I think it's rural pioneering is going to be the new thing. And you know, if you can get out there in the middle of nowhere and pitch a tent and start rebuilding something old and fabulous, and then put it online and get some people coming out to get away from it all, I think you could have a fabulous life, and you could just keep doing that for the rest of your life and retire nicely. All right, more on this later. Good luck. I hope to hear what you have to say in the comments. Bye-bye.